Welcome back, Focus Learners! Today, we're diving straight into a really compelling explainer. We're going to put two of the world's absolute biggest faiths side by side, Hinduism and Islam. Now, just to be clear right up front, we aren't here to spark any debates or take sides. We're just looking to build a bridge of mutual understanding by comparing their structural and philosophical frameworks. So let's just jump right in and see what we can uncover together.
To keep things moving, here is our roadmap. We'll be logically breaking this down into 5 core areas: origins and the divine, worship rituals and leaders, followers, festivals and holy sites, cosmology and the afterlife, and finally, ethics, history, and legacy.
Alright, starting right off with Section 1, Origins and the Divine.
To really grasp these faiths, we have to look at when they actually started. Hinduism's roots stretch way back to around 3000 BC. It's a broad spectrum of beliefs that sort of evolved organically over thousands of years. Islam, on the other hand, was founded much later, in 610 AD, coming in with a highly uniform set of beliefs right from the start. So you have this fascinating contrast right away, a millennia-long evolving theology versus a comparatively recent, streamlined foundation.
And that historical background directly shapes how they view the creator. In Hinduism, cosmic functions are distributed. You have the Trimurti. Brahma handles creation, Vishnu takes care of preservation, and Shiva is all about destruction. Islam takes a totally different route with strict monotheism. All of those ultimate cosmic functions, they're entirely combined within Allah. It's a very clear distinction in how they conceptualize divine power.
Now, both traditions rely heavily on revered holy texts and origin stories to set up their moral frameworks. Hinduism looks to the Vedas. These are ancient, complex texts full of hymns and philosophy, alongside the story of the very first humans, Manu and Shatarupa, who were guided by Brahma. Islam turns to the Quran, which is meant as a singular, comprehensive guide for literally all aspects of life, along with the story of Adam and Hawa, guided by Allah. So right from the jump, both are establishing a strong sense of human responsibility.
Moving on to Section 2, Worship, Rituals, and Leaders.
Okay, so how does this play out daily? Well, there's a really interesting parallel between the highly localized, variable offerings of Hindu puja and the incredibly rigid, strictly timed postures of Islamic salat. But alongside those differences in structure, look at their greetings. Hindus say namaste, which beautifully translates to "I bow to the divine in you." Muslims say assalamu alaikum, meaning peace be upon you. Both traditions put a massive emphasis on interpersonal respect and peace. Naturally, this daily community connection requires a physical space. Both the Hindu mandir and the Islamic mosque act as absolutely vital social hubs. They fulfill that deeply universal human need for community connection, for culture, and of course for spiritual guidance, which is provided by their respective leaders, pujaris in Hinduism and imams in Islam. If we zoom in on personal discipline, we actually see 3 incredibly similar steps here. First up is spiritual focus through physical means, yoga in Hinduism and zikr, which is the recitation of God's names in Islam. Next is mandatory purification before worship. Hindus practice achamana, sipping water with mantras, while Muslims perform wudu, the washing of specific body parts. And the third step, a profound commitment to charity. You have dana, representing selflessness, and zakat, which is obligatory aid for the less fortunate. The methods differ, sure, but the goal of personal discipline is exactly the same. Let's look at the bigger picture in Section 3, followers, festivals, and holy sites.
When we talk about scale, the numbers are huge. We're looking at a regionally concentrated population of 1.2 billion Hindus, mostly in India and Nepal. Contrast that with a massive, globally dispersed population of 2 billion Muslims. And interestingly, the largest single concentration of Muslims is actually in Indonesia. It just goes to show how historical and cultural contexts shape the geographic footprint of these faiths.
But no matter where their followers live, their hearts are drawn to specific spiritual epicenters. For Hindus, it's cities like Varanasi, famous for its sacred arti rituals and cremations. For Muslims, it's Mecca, the ultimate destination for the annual Hajj pilgrimage. And what brings everyone together? The festivals. You've got Diwali, celebrating light over darkness, and Eid al-Adha, honoring Abraham's willingness to sacrifice. These massive events create intense emotional ties and really reinforce shared community values.
Okay, Section 4, Cosmology and the Afterlife. Let's talk about what happens next. So, both religions push for ethical living, but their maps of the afterlife? Completely different. In Hinduism, Svarga is just a temporary heaven-like realm before a soul gets reincarnated, and Naraka is a realm of red fire for the temporary purification of sins. Islam views it permanently. Jannah is an eternal paradise for the righteous, and Jahannam is a dark realm of black fire for eternal punishment. The key takeaway here is Hinduism's temporary purification and rebirth versus Islam's permanent destination for the righteous and the wicked. Beyond just heaven and hell, though, the supernatural lore in both is wild. Look at this shared recognition of spiritual entities. You've got intermediaries like the Devas and Malaika. You have cautionary, ego-driven demons like the Rakshasas, think Ravana, and Shaitan, embodied by Iblis. There are unseen spirits like Bhutas and Jinn, heavenly beings like Vidyadharis and Auris, and even divine steeds symbolizing spiritual journeys like the Garuda and the Barak. It's a totally fascinating look at how both faiths structure an unseen universe overseen by divine powers. Bringing it back down to Earth, these cosmic beliefs directly dictate how they handle death. These distinct rites showcase totally diverging paths. Hinduism favors cremation, which perfectly reflects their belief in a cyclical journey of the soul through death and rebirth. Islam advocates for burial, reflecting a linear timeline. It emphasizes dignity and respect while the deceased awaits resurrection and final judgment. Finally, let's synthesize all this in Section 5, Ethics, History, and Legacy. To really get how followers live day to day, we have to talk about Dharma and Sharia. At their core, both are just the universal human pursuit of an ethical framework. Dharma takes a slightly broader, more cosmic approach to societal laws and righteous behavior. Sharia, on the flip side, provides a highly detailed, comprehensive legal and moral code for pretty much every single aspect of a Muslim's daily life.
And why follow these rules? Well, their ultimate spiritual goals differ. In Hinduism, you are aiming for moksha, the ultimate liberation, completely escaping the physical cycle of birth and death to merge with the divine. In Islam, the goal is barakah, actively seeking continuous divine grace, blessings, and God's presence to live gracefully within this worldly life.
And history is absolutely full of people who champion these ideals. Both cultures heavily celebrate historic excellence. You have righteous leaders like King Ashoka and Sultan Mehmed II. You have absolute military geniuses like Bajirao I and Khalid bin al-Walid. And we cannot forget the monumental scientific minds like Aryabhata, who worked out approximations of pi, and al-Khwarizmi, the literal father of algebra. These guys basically built our modern mathematical world.
Finally, it's amazing to see how these big religious concepts trickle down into everyday cultural practices. Look at the symbolism. The mango representing prosperity in Hinduism versus dates used to break the fast in Islam. Both revere sacred, purifying waters, Gangajal from the Ganges and Zamzam from Mecca. And of course, the strict dietary laws, abstaining from beef to respect the cow and avoiding pork to adhere to Islamic dietary codes.
So, stepping back from all of this, what's the big takeaway from this explainer? It's that despite having entirely distinct theological pathways, completely different historical origins, and totally different daily rituals, both of these massive religions are ultimately striving for the exact same things: righteousness, ethical living, and a profound, meaningful connection to the divine. I'm going to leave you with this final thought straight from our source material. It says, "The call for more peace and less animosity is more crucial than ever." Understanding these parallels we've just covered is really the very first step toward building mutual respect and global harmony. So I'll leave you with this question. How might recognizing these profound shared human goals change the way we interact with our neighbors tomorrow? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Focused learners, keep exploring, and I'll catch you next time.